भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति देव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः। ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Read the verses from 17. यस्त्वात्मरतिरेव स्याद् आत्मतृप्तश्च मानवः आत्मन्येव च सन्तुष्टः तस्य कार्यं न विद्यते नैव तस्य कृतेनार्थः न कृतेनेह कश्चन न चास्य सर्वभूतेषु कश्चिदर्थव्यपाश्रयः तस्मादसक्तः सततम् कार्यं कर्म समाचर असक्तो ह्याचरन् कर्म परमाप्नोति पुरुषः। So in this 19th verse, the second line, asakto hi acharan karma param apnoti purushah. He, because Asaktah karam acharan. See the translation, because by those who don't have this handout, I think they're all available there in case you want this verses. Somebody can bring and distribute to those who don't have. Asakto he means because, asaktah, without attachment, acharan karma, performing action. Because by performing action without attachment, param apnoti purushaha, a person attains the highest. See, Lord Krishna here prescribes a very simple means of attaining the highest in our life. What is meant by attaining highest? That was described in the earlier two verses. Attaining highest is attaining what it is that we are constantly seeking in our life, and that is happiness. So not only are we seeking happiness, but we are seeking unconditional happiness, meaning happiness not confined to a time, place or condition. We want to be happy at all the times, at all the places, under all conditions. A person who attains this kind of happiness has been described in the verses 17 and 18. It says, Yastu Atmartareva Syat Atmatruptasya Manaha Atmanyevaja Santushtaha. The happiness that we experience is described as taking place in three stages. The degree of happiness grows from one state to the other to the third. First is called Atma Ratihi. The happiness that we gain by thinking about, dwelling upon something that we love. So we enjoy even thinking about something that we love. Then that happiness grows in measure when we attain what it is that we love. And that happiness becomes highest when we enjoy what we love. So before we enjoy what we love, we should get what we love. Before we get, we think about what we love. So ratihi, tushtihi, truptihi. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, they are described as Priya, Moda, Pramoda. So call it Pramoda, call it Truptihi, call it ecstasy. That is when an individual is lost in happiness, when one loses even the individuality of oneself, and all that remains is happiness. Except that here it is not just the experience of happiness that is talked about. There are moments when we do get that kind of an experience, when there is an ecstatic moment, when we lose ourselves, losing the sense of time, place, individuality, all that remains, as in the previous ones, a flame of happiness. This kind of experience we have now and then, momentarily. But then we come out of that experience with a conclusion. That happiness came from something else, from experiencing something else. Vedanta teaches that or any other experiences comes really from our own self. Because self or Atma or myself is of the nature of limitless happiness, and whenever we experience any happiness, we are only experiencing ourselves. So what is called knowledge is that ecstasy or the happiness that we experience, to know that it is myself. I point out our Puja Swamiji is always making a distinction between experience and knowledge. that experience of that happiness we have now and then. And in deep sleep, supposedly also you have that experience. Or a yogi in his samadhi, absorption, he experiences that happiness. In Vedanta, that experience of happiness is called Anandamaya Kosha. It is called Kosha. It is a bliss sheath, they call it. Sheath means something that still separates me from myself. Meaning that even when that experience takes place, if I do not realize that it is my own self, if my conclusion is that happiness came from something else because something happened, then I will always remain a seeker of that happiness because I think that it has to come from somewhere. And what Vedanta teaches that happiness is my own self. It does not come from anywhere else. It is simply manifestation of myself, removal of whatever inhibiting factors were there. When they are all removed, what manifests is my true self, and therefore the happiness is myself. That is Vedanta teaching. So when we have that knowledge that this is my nature, then I no more remain a seeker of happiness because I recognize that is my own self. Then my attempt would be to remove once and for all whatever inhibiting factors are there, even after knowing that I am that limitless happiness. I do not necessarily become the owner of that happiness because there are some inhibiting factors such as the habitual error of identifying with this body, mind, sense complex. Some doubts may be there, something could be there. And therefore, further Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam is certainly required to firm up that conviction that this is myself. So with knowledge that I am happiness, that has become a conviction, a firm conviction, unswerving conviction, so that it does not get shaken up under any circumstances. So there is also a second stage of sadhana that we have to carry out. First is to know, second is to gain a firm abidance in the knowledge or firm abidance in that conviction. When you have that, that's all. Vedanta calls it moksha. Because basically what you are seeking is that freedom from all limitations. And therefore that freedom does not have to be described in any other physical terms of some kind of other powers and achievements, which may incidentally take place, but most important achievement is for me to know that limitless happiness I am. Then the goal of life is achieved, Vedanta says, and tasya karyam na vidyate. For this wise person who abides in this happiness, who has this firm conviction that I am happiness. How firm that conviction is? A text called Tapoda describes this. Right now I have a firm conviction. Aparoksha jnana, immediate knowledge, we have that. Yatha brahmanoham, purushoham, vaishyoham, shudroham, gruhastoham. As effortlessly, right now I know that I am a brahmana, I am a man, I am a woman, so that is effortless. It is not natural, it is effortless. Right now, you can say that I abide in this knowledge that I am a Purusha, I am a Stri, I am a Brahmana, I am a man, etc., etc. That is effortless. That is called Aparoksha Jnana, meaning that I do not need any other means of knowledge to know that I am a human being. So understand that we have aparoksha jnanam. Because when we hear the term aparoksha jnanam, we get intimidated. Oh, aparoksha jnanam, transcendental knowledge, etc. People use those words and I don't know, maybe I get confused. But we always have aparoksha jnana about ourselves. Understand this. Our Swami used to say that the knowledge is always in keeping with the nature of the object of knowledge. So the object is an object such as a ghata, a real ghata, better. We are so much here. Yeah, there you are. The right shape should be there. So this is an object of perception, and therefore its knowledge will be an objective knowledge, where there will be a duality of the knower and known, because this is an object of knowledge, I am separate from that. This is called pratyaksha jnanam, the perceptual knowledge, pratyaksha. About something that may be outside this hall, and you have some kind of, you hear some sounds, from that you infer, hey, this person must be coming, or this group must be there, when you hear this talking and stuff like that. That is called paroksha jnanam, indirect knowledge, because it is not direct perceptual knowledge, it is inference. So knowledge is compatible to the object of knowledge. When the object is in front of me, I have a perceptual knowledge. It is removed away from my sense perception. It is indirect knowledge called paroksha jnana. But how about the self? Is not in front of me. I am different from what is in front of me. I cannot be different from myself. And self cannot be removed because it is myself. There is no separation. What is removed? That from which I am separated by time, place or condition. That's called removed. I am not separated from myself. I am myself. Therefore, the knowledge of self is always aparoksha. Even now also. Now also we have aparoksha jnanam or immediate knowledge of the self, meaning that we don't have to create aparoksha jnana. So what is my immediate knowledge about myself? I am a human being, I am so and so. So you cannot call it aparoksha jnana, it is aparoksha jnana. What is happening is that when I say I am a Purusha, I am a human being, then that I am is the self and human being belongs to non-self. So what is happening is that self and non-self are all lumped together. Again using the word Swami, lumping together. Identification. So what Vedanta teaches is not creating self-knowledge. It is only making the self-knowledge correct. We have self-knowledge. If you did not know the self, there is no way you can know the self, by the way, because self is limitless. You can never know if in the traditional way, conventional way. So what Vedanta teaches is not so much self-knowledge as much as correcting the knowledge that I already have by negating what I am not. So when I say Purushoham, I am a human being, that human being aspect or element belongs to the body, which I am not. So that's what Vedanta teaches. So Vedanta teaches by way of negation of what I am not, because I already know what I am. In what I am, what I am not also is mixed up. So I don't have to know that I am, I know it. But human being, happy, unhappy, all of that stuff that belongs to the body, mind, sense complex also is taken with the self by habit. And that is to be recognized as non-self. And I have to let go the identification. It's called negation, neti neti. That's how Vedanta teaches. So, knowledge of Atma remains aparoksham, immediate, except that from that, these mediate elements of the body, etc., are removed, then what remains is I am, which has no dimension, so I am is limitless. So this is, that happiness also, which is myself, is aparoksha only. I am happiness. But again and again, the habitual error of taking the body to be myself comes in the way and distracts me, and therefore I require to practice. I am Brahma, Aham Brahma, I am Brahman, I am Brahman. As a result, one attains an abidance in this knowledge. Simple thing, understand. Vedanta is very simple. It is sometimes explained such complicated and such intimidating language that we, it is not for us. Vedanta is not for us. The only Vedanta is for us. Nothing else is for us, really. That's the only thing that is simple. Everything else is complicated to come to think of it. Anyway, because I am a Vedantic student, so I would say that. So one who has this knowledge, tasya karyam na vidyate, whatever had to accomplish in life has been accomplished. It is really the accomplishment of what is already accomplished, not that I would accomplish that happiness, it is already accomplished as myself. I have to own up that, that's all. That's why the owner is called a Swami, it's owner. Hopefully. Tasya karyam nivet. He has nothing to karyam. There is no compulsion that he has to do something. Karyam means something that has to be done. Not that this person will not do anything, but when we do something, it is there out of pressure. I have to do. Next word, naiva tasya krutena artaha na kruteneha kasyana. When we do something, there is a pressure. That if I do this, then I will gain something, which also creates pressure because I need to gain something. Or if I do not do something, I will lose something. So this is a pressure under which I am always working. I do something because if I do not do that, I will not gain what I want. Or if I do that, I will gain what I want. And do not do that, I will not gain what I want. Or if I do not do something, I will lose what I have. Sometimes, to hold on to things also you have to make an effort. Yoga and Kshema. Yoga is achieving what you don't have, Kshema is protecting what you have. Both of them require karma. Tasya karyam naiva tasya krutena artha na kruteneha kasyana. There is no purpose to serve now by doing something, nor any fear of losing by not doing something. That is called freedom from all pressure, freedom from all compulsion in life. This is called moksha. Simple thing. What is freedom? Freedom from all compulsion, from all pressure. But Swamiji, the world puts pressure on me, my boss puts pressure on me, my spouse puts pressure on me. So many things put pressure on me. Nobody can put pressure on me if I do not pressurize myself, really. It is basically I put pressure on me that I need this, I have to have this, I cannot do without something. Or I cannot stand something. Either I cannot do without something, so I should have it or I should retain it. Or I cannot stand something, I must get rid of it. Now these are the pressure already existing. Only when this pressure exists in me that someone can create a pressure by dangling a carrot in front of me. If you do that, this is what you get. Then my pressure says, do it. or by threatening that if you don't do, I'll take this away from you, and that is important to retain, therefore I do it. Suppose, imagine, that there was nothing without which you cannot do, let us say. This is an imagination. There's nothing without which I cannot do. There's nothing that I have to hold on to. Suppose a situation comes. There is no pressure. Swami, I lose my job. Right now it's important because I cannot do without my job. Suppose you could, I'm not suggesting you do, but suppose. Whatever house, suppose you can do without that also. Suppose you can do without all of this stuff. Everything. Are you in the street? Suppose you can be. When can I be? When I am self-sufficient. Those things, it is one thing to have them as something that may serve my purpose. It is another thing to have them because I cannot do without them. To possess something is not a problem, but the relationship that I cannot do without something, that is what the problem is. I cannot do without many things. Why? Because I am so incomplete, insufficient, inadequate as I am, that I am not happy as I am. So I need all this stuff in order to feel that I am alright. Since I do not feel alright as I am, I need millions of things to feel that I am alright. Suppose you discover that you are alright as you are, suppose. Then dependence will go. Whether to possess them or not will be your choice. The choice is there. Not to possess, become a sannyasi. Possess, remain an active person and do what you want to do. Depends on prarabdha, that we will describe. Some people have prarabdha, that they do things that they are meant to do, and then they will not give up things. They'll maybe retain those things and use them as a means of contribution. Other people have different prarabdha. I don't need to do anything. They may not have anything. So again, whether you possess something or not, outwardly is a different thing. But point is, whether you are dependent upon something or not, that is the point here. Moksha means freedom from all dependence, all need. Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan. When he becomes free from all the needs, and therefore free from all expectations, from all demands. He doesn't demand anything from anybody, expects nothing from anybody, there is nothing. How can we, Swamiji? Like, that's what you are? That is the nature of myself. That's called happiness. Whether you call it self-sufficiency or happiness. Because I feel self-sufficient when I am happy, by the way. In a moment of happiness, I don't need anything at that moment. Naiva tasya krutenartha na kruteneha kaschana na chasya sarvabhuteshu kaschid vyapashraya. So Lord Krishna said in that verse, number 18, that he does not depend upon anybody for achievement of anything. There, Shankaracharya explained that even beginning from Brahma all the way up to a blade of grass, he depends upon nothing. For his security, for his well-being, for his happiness, he doesn't depend upon anything. Well, for sustaining the body, he may depend upon them, which he doesn't care. For sustaining the body, we are always interconnected, and therefore this body requires the rest of the world in order to survive. That is okay, that is not a problem. Ishvara has arranged for it. We think that we have to create, but Ishvara has made arrangement for that. Birds and all creatures, a human being, they don't worry about what will happen tomorrow and where the food will come from. So he becomes like that. The wise person becomes like that. Pashvadi Vishwavisheshat, say that he is like an animal. I am interpreting that verse, statement a different way, but like an animal doesn't have any worry about tomorrow, as best as I know. Otherwise they can't sleep. They sleep very well. So understand what moksha is. Very simple thing. There are many romantic things associated with that, But it's very simple. Freedom from dependence, freedom from compulsion, freedom from pressure, freedom from need, however you describe it. And this is what is the goal. We should understand the goal correctly, then only we can understand means properly. Swami gave a series of talks called sadhana and sadhya. Sadhana means means, sadhya means and, the means and end. In 8-day talk, he must have spent 5 days in explaining what is the end, That's what Swami would do, 10 days talks. He first 5 days in explaining all kinds of things. He will come to chapter in 6, 7, 8 days and finish off. Well, he thought that the fundamentals are very important to understand before you understand all the details. That the sadhana or means becomes clear only when sadhya end is clear. When the goal is clear, then only path can become clear. Is it not so? People talk of many paths, maybe okay, but then first understand what the goal is, what the end is. This is the goal, what we just described. If that is the goal, then the means also will become clear. If ultimately you are the one who doesn't need any possession, who doesn't need any dependence, who doesn't need anything, that is your nature. Then sadhana means also should be compatible that I should not keep on justifying my needs. Follow? If needlessness is my nature, then living a life in which I keep on justifying needs will not make sense because I am not moving in the direction of my goal. The means will be, sadhana means will be what? Let go of the needs. Recognizing that needs are a product of ignorance. A need arises because I do not know that by nature I am free from all the needs. Not knowing that the need is a product of ignorance of the self. And more I justify the need and desires, etc., more I am only justifying ignorance. So living life compatible to knowledge. What is the goal? That I am free from all needs, that I am adequate by nature, I am free by nature. That's what I want to discover someday. For discovering that, I should live a life where I progressively give up the needs, not justify the needs, you follow? Understand, give up needs that need not amount to giving up possession, if you are concerned about that. Giving up needs. Give up dependence. So Lord Krishna has a very wonderful plan here. He starts with a simple thing which I can give up. Says just give up your dependence upon the result of the action. Start from there. Karma phala. Ma phaleshu kadachana. Our Swamiji would say that you do not control the outcome. But anyway, the point is that give up your dependence upon the outcome of the action. The reward that comes from the action. Give up your dependence upon that. Meaning what? Perform the action without any kind of a agenda of what I will get out of that. Just perform the action for the sake of action. Perform the action for the love of action. Meaning that enjoy what you do. Lord Krishna does not specify what it is that you should do. He says, whatever comes your way by way of this station of life, in whichever station of life you are, and whatever life brings to you as something that you should do it. But again, our Swami would say that always choice of doing what is right and what is convenient, doing what is right and what I like. If these two are different, then give up what is convenient and do what is right. So as far as my approach towards the reward of the action is concerned, I am not seeking any reward. If you are seeking reward, means that you are justifying your need. You follow? But I have needs, Swamiji. The need that you have are all nothing but superimposition, and therefore you feel the need is there. In reality you don't need. So to make it someday a reality, stop giving reality to your needs, because you should not have a need ideally because you are limitless. Which I don't feel, Swamiji, it doesn't matter. Fake it. So how do we start? By not depending upon the outcome, not looking upon the outcome as a source of gratification. So Lord Krishna does recognize need for gratification, not that we are still free from that, but then gain your gratification from action rather than from the result of the action. Swami, action means a lot of exertion. How can you gain? It's a matter of your determination that I want to enjoy. I'm going to enjoy what I do. You don't know, Swami, my work is all drudgery, is all mechanical, all repetitive, whatever it is. Enjoying something requires your determination more than what you are enjoying. I enjoy food, whatever it is, I enjoy it. Because for Swami, that's one of the great main source of enjoyment anyway. So enjoying something not only requires what that thing is, enjoying requires also your commitment that I want to enjoy this. Then you will find way of enjoying it. Make it enjoyable. Make whatever you do enjoyable. I don't have freedom, Swamiji. You have freedom as far as your attitude is concerned. You may not have freedom in doing because that is what determined by your boss, what you do, or the world decide what you do and how you do. You may not have freedom. And still, that can become a source of enjoyment for you if you are so determined. Then your mind will find out ways of enjoying. But this is what I do, Swamiji, morning till evening. I'm in an assembly line. What enjoyment can there be? I have to think about it, but then you just enjoy, watch the movement. Enjoy the glory of the Lord, which is there at every moment, is manifesting in what you are doing. How fortunate I am that even I can do this, which I could not be. It's possible. And my hands are working. That I have a mind which is able to do this, otherwise somebody is watching how many things I did, how many per minute, etc. So all these faculties are functioning. And therefore, recognizing that the glories of the Lord are involved in every moment, in everything that we do, it is by His grace that we do, and He is always involved with us. How wonderful that my hand is working and the prana is there, and this is depends on how much you know about things. But Vedanta teaches us those basic things. We don't have to know anatomy and physiology. Vedanta teaches us 5 pranas, 5 organs of perception, action, what are the presiding deities, how their grace works, how my hands work, because there is a Devata called Indra, whose grace I am enjoying, that's why I am able to do this, otherwise I can't do it. Anyway, so we need gratification at this time. But rather than depending upon the outcome of the action, may you make action as your source of gratification, source of enjoyment. Meaning that will happen when I perform an action for the love of action. I love to do something. But Swamiji, you don't know what I have to do. Whatever you have to do, as I said, it's your conviction and your determination, your decision that I'm going to enjoy it. Our Swami used to say, I don't know, we can love anybody. You can love a retarded person also. He could, I guess. But anyway, so that's the kind of thing it is. So there were the verse that we tasmat asaktaha satatam karyam karma samachara in the verse 19. Samachara samyak achara, do very well. Karyam karma, that which has to be done, which is the right thing to do, whether I like it or not. Swami, there is a lot of discrimination here. I see that fellow is getting this and see why I know there are so many difficulties in life. What does it matter? Don't think that the world discriminates. This is my prarabdha. That is that person's prarabdha. That person gets that, I get. Swami, the unfair. Well, it's all karma that is functioning, And who knows it is unfair? Who knows this is not the best for you? How do you know that? The grass is greener than yonder, so it always looks like somebody else is also happier and I am not. You put yourself in those shoes and you will find out what it is. Therefore, karyam karma samyak achara, perform very well karyam karma, the action that has to be done. Meaning that Arjuna recognized that you have to contribute. As a means of growth, first become a contributor. Perform every action in the spirit of offering, whatever you have. We have 3 T's with us. What is it? Time, talent, and treasure, whatever you have. Offer that. Meaning, make your action, and anything that you do, whatever we do every moment is an action, by the way. The interaction that we have moment to moment with the world is an action. And the attitude is that, how can I be a contributor? Karyam karma samachara. Therefore, pay total attention to karma, to what you do. Make sure that you do it at the right time, the right place, and the right way. If you have to have pride, let there be pride for your karma, not for your outcome. Asaktaha, unattached, meaning what? Unattached to the reward that comes from the karma. It is of no consideration at all. The only thing of consideration is what I have to do. I'm indifferent to as long as I do what is right, I need not be worried about what the outcome will be. I'm ready to accept gracefully whatever the outcome comes. So, Lord Krishna, asaktaha, sakti, saktaha, attached, asakta, unattached. There are 2 kinds of attachments there. One is the attachment to the outcome where my mind wants a given outcome, then only it will be happy. Give up that thing. Give up your dependence upon outcome for happiness. And secondly, there is also a sort of a strong self-consciousness that I am doing this. I did it, Swami. I'm a self-made man. This is my creation. So Swami says, who made you? And so the self-made, who made you? So that kind of, it is true that a karma yogi does have a sense of doership that I am doing, no doubt about that. But the doership also is of different level. A tamasic doership, a rajasic doership, a sattvic doership. So karma yogi is a doer, all right, but a sattvic doer. Who is a rajasic doer coming from rajas or a strong attachment that I am the doer. It is I who is the author of the action. Who is a sattvic doer says, I am the instrument in the hands of Lord through which this action is being performed. It's a matter of perception, is it not so? When we are doing something, the perception can be that I am the author of what I am doing. Or I am an instrument in what is being done through me. It's a matter of perception. So Karma Yogi also has a sense of doership. He's not yet free from that. The whole Karma Yoga is made to transform my doership from Rajasic to Sattvic. I don't use the word tamasic. A tamasic fellow will not do anything. Basically, Bhagavad Gita Upadesha is given to a Rajasic person, which is what Arjuna was. He became momently tamasic, then Lord prodded him and then showed him all the disadvantage of not doing things. But even when you do things, make sure that you do with the right attitudes, in the right way. I think Lord Krishna has an agenda here. You know what is his agenda? If each one of us does what is the right thing to do, then he doesn't do anything. Because when people do not conduct themselves right, then he has to come down here, and to set everything right. So if he do things right, then he can sleep in his serpent bed. That is his agenda, I guess. Tasmat asaktaha, satatam, all the time. Not that one or two actions a day. I start that way, but ultimately all my actions are performed without any kind of an agenda as to what my personal reward will be. I do not want any personal reward. It is my privilege to perform an action which is an opportunity to contribute something. And that it is my privilege that I have been chosen to perform this action by Ishvara, who has made me an instrument to do this. Then we respect the action, respect yourself, respect what you do. So comparison and no competition here. Somebody is like that, what does it matter? See, the world, we are brought up in a world where you always want to be somebody else. You don't have to be. You are all right as you are. Because you are limitless as you are, you don't have to be somebody else. And this body mind can never be somebody else regardless of what you do. That's what we are trying to do all the time. Physically you want to be somebody else, and look at the actresses and try to do things and build muscles. You can do that if there is, you have enough time for that kind of stuff. Or intellectually also, it's a right thing to grow. And a value of doing things better than what I am doing, that is quite all right. You can compete with yourself. That in the present I should be better than what I was in the past. That's quite all right. I should be better than somebody else, that's all, that's very damaging stuff. But Swami, if I don't compete, what will happen to me? People think that they are rewarded by competition. Nobody is rewarded by competition. Everybody is rewarded for performance, not for competition. You don't have to compete with somebody. You perform the best regardless. Whether you compete or not, that is not an alternative for your performing the best. And what you can't do better than best anyway. Karyam karma samachara. Karyam, what is the right thing to do in a given situation? What is the right thing to do? Meaning what role you are playing, what your duty is, what the kartavya is, and then you do that. Whether you like it or not, whether it is simple or difficult, whatever it is. So that is a challenge to do what is right. It's a challenge. But there are many things within me, there are many temptations within me which prompt me to take liberty with what I am doing. That is either because I am too attached to the reward, so I want to quicken the reward and therefore I finish it off. Or I just do not want to take trouble and therefore I try to take it easy and then do it as, just finish it off. So either a person dukkha mityavet karma kaya klesha bhayat tyajet. Somebody gives up the right thing to do because of it's too difficult, too strenuous. Who wants to take that much strain? Doesn't matter. You need not do every little thing. Just do it, finish it off. No, every little thing. Dot every I and cross every T. I will never finish. Well, you will learn to work fast enough. If you do that, then you will learn to work fast enough to do the right thing. It's not that just because you do the right thing that you have to be slow. So karyam, karma, that is just one verse. Tasmat asakta hasadam. First line, karyam of the 19th verse, karyam karma samachara. You do this. This is all Lord Krishna wants us to do. That may you give up your dependence upon the outcome of the action. May your total focus be upon the action, because that is meant by what is to be done. And then you can do properly what is to be done, provided you are focused only on what is to be done. If my focus gets distracted on what the outcome will be, then I will not be totally focused on what is to be done. Is it not so? This may sound like a tall order, but this is the way to grow. And this is spiritual growth, understand. Asakta satadam karyam karma samachara samyek achara. Do it very well. That's all. That's the sadhana that Lord Krishna prescribes. For doing this, if you need other things, then you do them. Meaning that for developing focus, you need to do pranayama, yoga, japa. Do that. This is the main sadhana. What is it? That every moment I do what is right thing to do, and that I have a commitment to do in the best way, and that my focus is on what I have to do, and I withdraw my focus completely from what this will bring for me, because this doing itself is my reward. Karma is a reward. I need not wait for the karma phala to reward me. And once we start enjoying work, we will find that you don't need anything else. And work you will always have to do anyway to survive in this country, regardless. So you have to do things. And almost everywhere now. So this attitude of called anasakti, detachment, this is called detachment. The two levels of detachment, first level of detachment is that I am detached from the outcome and I don't want any reward. I do not want any, see, all of this is being told to some people now. Everybody is there in the class and Swamiji, the Swami said, don't worry about reward. I will not say this to young people, by the way. I am saying this to the people who are at a certain stage in their life. Because if I say this to a youngster, don't worry about reward, then he will be lost. Those verses will come. So first, Detachment is detachment towards outcome, that I do not want any personal reward, or I am not seeking any gratification from the outcome. And I am a karta, that is asakta. A detachment there is that I am a doer, all right, but then I am the instrument, or I am a contributor. A contributor is sattvic karta. A consumer is a rajasic karta. So one who wants personal reward is a rajasic karta. One who looks upon his action as an opportunity to contribute is a sattvic karta. So that's another anasaka. Two levels of detachment. Detachment from karma phala, that I do not look upon karma phala as source of gratification. And detachment at the level of karma, that I perform the karma as a means of my contribution. That too, I recognize the reality of life, that I am able to do this purely by grace of Ishvara. That I can walk and talk and do anything purely grace of Ishvara. I have an opportunity to do something, grace of Ishvara. I have the ability to do that, grace of Ishvara. The skills to do that, grace of Ishvara. Therefore, Ishvara is there in the mind of the karma yogi. Ishvara is the one whose grace I am enjoying. I am his servant. A karma yogi looks upon himself as the servant of Ishvara. Ishvara, God is master. And whatever order he gives, it's fine with me. Why do I have to, why me? No, this is no why me. This is what he wants me to do. That's what I do. Simply doing this, Paramapnoti Purusha, Lord Krishna says, one attains the limitless. One attains total freedom. Because I am asserting freedom in my karma. I am asserting two-way freedom. First, I am asserting freedom from dependent upon karma phala, that I do not want any reward as a result of the action. That is asserting freedom. Secondly, I am not the author of the action. I am an instrument in the hands of Lord. This is another freedom. So when I assert freedom in doing what I am doing, that I become the recipient of the absolute freedom. This is the relative freedom that I have to assert as a value to attain the absolute freedom. So relative becomes the means of absolute. Relative is something that we have to do, absolute is what we attain. Our Swami used to say that to attain love, you should try to become a loving person. You cannot attain love through the path of hatred. Therefore, to attain total freedom, I should also try to act as a free person by letting go as much as I can right now. So this I can let go, depending upon the reward of the action, result of the action. And secondly, looking upon an action as a consuming, again as a reward, as a contributor. So this is Lord Krishna's, shouldn't say advice, this is the Upadesha to Arjuna. To become what was described in earlier two verses, which describe a totally a free person. So we assert freedom. In the life, we keep on asserting the freedom. In what way? That my mind says, I want that reward. I say, no, I'm not working for reward. My mind says, I am doing this. No, you are an instrument. My mind says, I want this action to reward me. It says, no, make it a contribution. You understand? Meaning that we have to consciously assert these values. I have to consciously assert my freedom, because habitually my mind is bound. My mind is a beggar habitually. So it wants something from karma, wants something from karma phala, wants something from everything. And by asserting freedom, I deny that to the mind. It says, no, you are not going to do that. So asserting freedom in a relative way makes me the recipient of absolute freedom. That's so simple. Asatto hyacharan karma paramapnodi purusha. Vedantin cannot take this in a literal sense though. Vedantin believes that moksha can come only by knowledge of self. So when Lord Krishna says by karma yoga attain moksha, then Shankaracharya will not accept it. What he would say? That this is what brings about antahkarana shuddhi, purification of mind. By this process, the rajas is given up. Rajas is always asserts, I want, I want, I want. I keep on asserting, I give, I give, I give. You follow? By doing that, this habit of want, dependence is progressively given up. That makes my mind essentially free from the needs or wants. That's called antahkarana shuddhi, purity of mind, sattvic mind. And they are quite confident that when the mind becomes sattvic, then there will be a desire for knowledge anyway. Tametam Vedanavasena Brahmana Vividishanti Yajnena Dhanena Tapasa Anashakena. Upanishad says that the Brahmanas or the thinking people perform their action as a means of knowledge. Meaning that by conducting ourselves in this manner, the mind will become sattvic. We are giving up the rajas, the dependence, etc. We are giving up determinedly. So you make action as a means of give up something. Tyaga, renunciation of attachment, dependence, beggarliness. And when the mind becomes thus relatively free, then it becomes sattvic, there will arise a desire for knowledge. Vividishanti, vividisha, the desire for knowledge will occur. But as the mind changes, the likes and dislikes also change. When rajas is predominant in the mind, then the mind likes all sense gratification, likes ego gratification. Gratification is what the mind likes when mind is under the influence of rajas. As the mind becomes transformed from rajas to sattva, then the nature of my desires will automatically change. In sattva, there is desire for knowledge. Meaning that my mind automatically loves different things. As Lord Krishna says in the 17th chapter, Yajante sattvika devan yaksharaksham sirajasaha pretan bhutaganam shanye yajante tamasa jana. My likes and dislikes change. When a person has a mind which is predominant in tamas, then he has love for then love for all lower elements of the lower strata of the life. They love violence and all kinds of stuff they love. Natural love in a tamasic mind. You can recruit these people. There are worldwide recruitment programs going on recruiting these people for doing, acts of destruction, etc. There are enough tamasic people who want to apply for that. Of course, you don't need much have to recruit people who want wealth and power. That's the rajasic. Yaksha rakshamsi rajasa. Yaksha means wealthy people, rakshas means powerful people. So wealth and power. The rajasic person wants that. Yajante sattvika devan. As the mind becomes sattvic, there is love for devatas, love for Ishvara, love for knowledge, love for teacher. All this love happens. So what I can in fact judge my mind based on what my likes are. Therefore, in the 17th chapter, Lord Krishna gives us many pointers. What kind of food do you like? That tells us whether I am a sattvic, rajas, tamas, generally speaking, very sour, very bitter, very hot, very spicy. Rajas. And all leftover and stinking and stuff, that is all tamas. So as the mind changes, our likes and dislikes change. And in sattvic mind, there arises love for the knowledge of the self. When that arises, then you will automatically go to teacher. That will happen. They say, teacher will come to you. You'll go to teacher, whatever happens. And then Shravanam, Mananam will take place, knowledge will take place. This will happen. So, Shankaracharya would say, that doesn't mention this thing because it will happen. Some people say that you don't require that. Karma Yoga itself does it. It's a matter of interpretation of this verse. When Swami Vivekananda would say that there are 4 different paths, karma is one path, and bhakti is another path, and Raja Yoga third path, and jnanam fourth path, etc. This is the verse you would take. Where Lord Krishna says that asakto hyacharan karma paramapnoti karma acharan, by performing karma properly one attains moksha. If you take this literally, then that would be one path of attaining moksha, which Vedantis don't accept. But you can take this statement all right, in as much as what is required will happen. When you have this attitude in living your life, then the mind will get transformed. Your desires will get transformed. There will be a desire for knowledge. And there will be other things that will happen for fulfilling the desire for knowledge. So you'll gain knowledge and you gain liberation. So jnana devudu kaivalyam, where kaivalyam, the moksha is only by knowledge, then they will fill in this gap. They will say that you put in this. So if you read Shankara Bhashya, Sattva Shuddhi Dvarena, it will say, Sattva Shuddhi Jnana Prapti Dvarena, through the agency or the intermediate step of purification of mind and attaining knowledge, one becomes liberated. I'm telling you a secret, don't tell this to anybody, because we don't tell this to anybody. We always say this means that through knowledge only you get. But interpreting this verse literally, what I'm saying is that do this, that's all. And this is doable. This is doable for everybody. And this is doable for those who are active. So then Lord Krishna doesn't like sannyasa, really. He doesn't like giving up action. He never prescribed that for Arjuna. So the whole third chapter is meant to emphasize why Arjuna should perform his duty. And this is the reward of performing the duty. Paramapnoti Purusha, one attains the limitless, the highest, which is what everybody wants. Arjuna thought that he could gain moksha by giving up karma. That's why I want to take sannyasa. Lord Krishna says, by giving up karma, you can't do anything. Na karmanam narambhat nishkarmyam purushosnute. By non-performance of karma, you cannot attain nishkarma and moksha. That is sanyasanadeva siddhim vindati manava. Nor by renunciation itself that you attain moksha. It is by performing karma in right way. Then renunciation, that's in your prarabdha, that you attain moksha. So this is where we are. We will take a break right now and continue with the next verse. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vadhitamastuma,
ま Vidvishavahai. Om
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Read verse 19. Tasmadasaktas satatam karyam karma samachara asakto hyacharan karma paramapnoti purushaha. Suppose a question is asked by Arjuna that sannyasa or renunciation, sannyasa means renunciation of duties, understand? Because duty is something that is binding. Duty is translated as kartavya, something that has to be done. So when we are born and raised in a society, as in the Vedic society, where it is always planted in our mind the idea that this is what your duty is, this is duty. So I am duty bound towards my family, duty bound towards the society, duty bound towards Ishvara, duty bound. This duty or kartavya is one of the unique contributions of the Vedas, also called dharma. And duty means something that has to be done. Therefore, in my mind, in every situation, this thought arises that this is what in every situation there is an expectation from me as to how I should respond to that situation. Because the idea of this obligation is planted in my mind, that I am obliged because I am receiving the favor of the rest of the world. I am what I am, and I am able to do what I am able to do is because of the constant favor that I am receiving from the rest of the world. And therefore, a householder's life was looked upon as a process of returning this favor, called returning the debt. I am indebted. The debt from devatas or gods, who are the presiding deities of my mind, sense organs, by whose grace this body, mind, sense complex functions, I am indebted to those devatas because it is by this grace that I can walk, I can talk, and I can do what I do. Indebted to my parents and ancestors who have given this body and the culture that I enjoy. Indebted to the teachers and sages who have given me this storehouse of knowledge from which I am freely able to use, and indebted to other members of society who do what they do in order that my life is sustained, like a farmer does what he does, a dairyman does what he does, and so forth. Then alone it is possible to sustain my life. And indeed, the rest of the world, the plants also contribute in my life, animals also contribute, every creature contributes, or every sentient, insentient entity which is in the universe directly or indirectly contributes to my life. So this idea of debt, called runam, is also a very unique idea. Jayamanavi brahmana tribhi runavan jayate, that a person when is born with debts. Because without asking, unasked favor is always given to me. And in many cases, I do not know even that this favor is being done to me. that the sun gives me light and energy, and the earth supports me, gives me food, and so on and so forth. So recognition of this brings about a sense of gratitude. Because when something is done for me, unasked, then there is a gratitude, and therefore there arises in me a motivation to return this favor. So when I'm receiving a favor from somebody, then we do something, thank you. Beginning from there is always a desire in us to return that favor. So from this interdependent relationship that the individual has with the rest of the cosmos, that arises the idea of contribution, that you are the recipient of the contribution of the rest of the world, and therefore it is your duty to contribute. So kartavya, or duty, really is what involves the spirit of contribution automatically. When I am duty bound to my parents, then I do something, I do what is to be done without expecting any reward, is it not so? But already they have done something for me, and I am now doing what I need to do for them. So when thus the whole world does what it does for me, then I should return that favor without seeking any reward in return. That is called the duty. So duty automatically is nishkama karma, is a karma or action performed without expectation of a reward. Duty is an action that is the right action to be done in the right attitude, as in the spirit of returning the favor without demanding any reward. So idea of duty automatically involves karma yoga. When an action is performed in the spirit of duty, duty means that I am returning the favor. Because favor has been already done to me. It is like taking a loan and returning the installments. When I return $100 a month for a loan, I don't expect a reward because I am already returning the favor that is already done to me. So we are born with the favor already done to us. And therefore, it becomes our duty to return that favor. That's how the idea of duty comes. From recognition of the interdependence of the system, how everything is helped by others, and therefore everything has to help others. Now this relationship or this spirit of being helped and helping in return automatically takes place by design for the rest of the universe other than human being. Because the rest of the universe, sentient and insentient, is so programmed that automatically the return of favor takes place. So there is a harmony between every creature and the universe. When it comes to human being, since human being enjoys the free will, meaning that a certain freedom of choice. What is the choice? To do, not to do, and how to do. Meaning that in every situation I have a choice to do something that I am required to do, not do, I can drop out, or I can do what is right, or I can do what is not so right. You follow? All this, that freedom is given to me. And if I misuse this freedom, then I will likely damage the world as well as, and then in turn damage myself. Meaning that by abusing the free will, a human being can create a damage. Since nothing else in the universe has that free will, therefore they cannot damage anything. So if we leave out the human being, there will be harmony in the whole universe, no problem with any ecological balance, no global warming, nothing will happen. So whatever problems there are in the universe are all created by abuse of human free will. Not recognizing what my duty is. And therefore, human being, particularly the Western world, took for granted that the world universe is designed for my gratification, and therefore I must extract the most from the universe for my happiness. And that's how you squeeze out the whole thing. Whereas in India, universe was all looked upon as a place of worship. Because of this vision of the Vedas, that your life should become a life of duty or worship rather than a life of exploitation or life of consumption. Therefore, the idea of contribution is automatically built into the idea of duty or kartavya. And that kartavya is, in a way, it does put a certain pressure on us. Because we have to do, because our usual tendency is to avoid taking any strain and stress. The usual attitude is to give up all the stress and give up all the exertion, to take it easy. That would be a normal tendency. And duty requires that I cannot take it easy. I have to do what is to be done. This is where the struggle comes. That's where the bondage comes. I feel restrained. That's called bondage, when there is a restrainment on my free will that I have to do even I don't want. I cannot do even though I want. This is ragadveshas. So my ragadveshas, attachments and aversions very often go against the spirit of harmony, because I have my own greed and own, kama means a need for gratification, krodha means anger, lova means greed. All these demoniac tendencies are there in me, which want to always abuse the order. Meaning that a natural tendency to abuse the order is already there in me. And therefore, if I simply listen to my mind, then the tendency would be to take it easy, take shortcuts, avoid trouble, and get maximum advantage with minimum effort. That would be the choice, habitual choice. The duty puts a control on that choice. You cannot do that. You have to do what is right to do. You can see how the idea of duty is an idea that liberates us from this slavery that I have of my own mind, of my own impulses, which are called ragadveshas. That I do not realize that I am a slave to my own impulses. Therefore, I think that to act according to impulse is freedom, whereas to restrain that impulse is bondage. That's my definition. Veda says that no, to follow the impulse is bondage, and to reduce, contain the impulse is freedom. Because freedom is freedom from impulse. It is impulse that controls me, that compels me, that creates an inner pressure of doing what is convenient rather than doing what is right. And therefore Lord Krishna wants us to perform karma. That most people fall in the category, most people need, because most people have these impulses of raga dveshas, which are inherited from the past. And we have to neutralize these raga dveshas before, that is attaining the relative freedom, before we can attain absolute freedom. And therefore Lord Krishna is prescribing karma yoga. Karma with the attitude of yoga. In karma yoga, the word yoga means the right attitude. It is the yoga of attitude. A very brilliant insight. Our Swami would say, karma yoga is performing karma with right attitude. What's right attitude? That I do not want any reward from performing the karma. What's the attitude? It is an opportunity or privilege to perform karma so that I can become a contributor. That's the attitude. So thus when an action is performed with this attitude, one is the attitude towards reward that I don't want it. Second is the attitude toward action that I must do the best that I can as a contributor. These attitudes make our karma yoga. It doesn't matter what karma it is. So these attitudes are built into the attitude of duty, because in duty there is no expectation of return in favor. In duty I have to do what I am obliged to. Meaning that if I have duty towards my father, then my father's needs come before my needs, and I am willing to set aside my likes and dislikes to satisfy the needs of the one to whom I am bound by duty. Is it not so? Hopefully father has performed his duty and is done, so now it is my turn. When both are in the same, then both of them have to do this. It can't be one-sided. So Lord Krishna therefore emphasizes the importance of karma. Means karma yoga. Karma means performing karma. Karma means duty. Performing duty with the right attitude. So Lord Krishna said how this can become the means of moksha. And now so it is true that even a person who has a strong desire for knowledge has the choice of giving up the duty, because duty has done its job. You see, Karma Yoga has done its job by creating in us the desire for knowledge. That attitude of yoga is what brings about a transformation of my mind, makes a sattvic mind, in which there is desire of knowledge. When then the karma has done its job. Then there is a choice in this person. Should I now give up the duties or should I continue to perform duties? So suppose Arjuna argues to the Lord, it is not that duty is a must. When this desire for knowledge has arisen in the person has a choice to give up this duty, give up this karma. Why do you insist that I should keep on performing karma? So now, see, this is then now Lord Krishna should quote an example of somebody who was pursuing knowledge without giving up karma. See how the next verse comes is this kind of a question can arise in the mind of Arjuna, that I have done my duty, O Lord, and now there is in me a desire for knowledge called Vividisha. And when now I am a seeker of knowledge, I should have the option of giving up my duties so that I can dedicate myself to the knowledge. So then Lord Krishna should quote now an example of someone who did not give up the duty. And also Arjuna is a Kshatriya, is a king class Kshatriya. And therefore, Lord Krishna should be an example of a Kshatriya, then alone Arjuna will be inspired, otherwise he may not be inspired by other examples. So in next verse, Lord Krishna gives an example of someone who pursued the knowledge without giving up karma. Meaning that it is possible to continue to perform the karma even when you are a seeker of knowledge. Understand? That's all the point here. It is true that when a desire for knowledge has arisen, that one does have now a choice of giving up karma and take karma sannyasa. But it is not necessarily the case. There are examples of those who have pursued the knowledge even while performing the duties. It is possible. So therefore, Arjuna, when now he considers what I should do, look at that person. Get inspiration from that person. So with that in mind, Lord Krishna now says the verse number 20. Karmanaiva hi samsiddhim asthita janakadayah lokasangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumarhase. Janakadaya samsiddhim asthitaha. Janakadaya, Janaka and others. Now King Janaka is very well known to everybody as a wise king. King Janaka, at least Arjuna would definitely know that. We may or may not remember it. But anyway, those who even listen to Ramayana knows Janaka, the father of Sita, was a wise person. And those who studied Upanishads also know from Brihadaranyaka Upanishads to how Janaka was a disciple of the sage Yajnavalkya, and also the Upanishad says that he became enlightened as a result of the teaching of sage Yajnavalkya. So Janaka is known as an enlightened king, and also known as a king who was totally detached with no sense of ownership at all. A story is being told that once a great sage whose name was Ashtavakra. Ashta means 8 and Vakra means crooked. Apparently he had some kind of a sin, some kind of a curse, because of which he was born with 8 limbs crooked. But he was a wise person. So this Ashtavakra, now they used to sometimes travel and go to the kings and share their knowledge. So apparently, say Ashtavakra must have been conducting Vedanta classes in the outskirts of the city. That is where his kutia, the hut may have been, which is where he may have been living. And so everybody would go there to attend the classes in the morning, including King Janaka. So here is King Janaka, and many others also are attending the classes, and some people complain to Sage Ashtavakra. Looks like, sir, you are paying more attention to King Janaka because this king isn't the reason. Now, this is a problem that many teachers have. Including, the consolation is that including our Swamiji, So once when he came to Ahmedabad to our ashram, he says, you complain, I'm not looking at, when I look at you, you're looking down, what can I do, Meaning that people must have been telling him also, you're not looking at us. So very old thing. So they complained to Sage Ashtavakra, looks like you are partial to King Janaka. He didn't say anything. One morning when the classes are going on, then all of a sudden they saw sitting, because the city was in the sight, that there was a fire, the city was on fire, it was all burning. All the fellows who were attending classes right away got up. Many of them were sadhus who had nothing but kaupina anyway, but still they all ran to the city to save whatever they could salvage from this burning. After a while they all came back, recognizing that this was only a joke, it was just a maya, it was a delusion, there was no fire. They were somewhat ashamed and came back and took their seat. But they found that King Janaka was steadily, he just seated there. He did not even move when his whole city is burning. So this was Sage Ashtavakra's way of teaching those fellows. How you fellows, look at he is king. The whole city belongs to him. He has no attachment for that. And you attachment for your kaupina and stuff like that. Kaupina means loincloth. So, this is King Janaka, well known in the scriptures as the one who was enlightened and one who enjoyed. It's called Videha, means one who had no identification with his body. That's how it is said. Therefore, for all Kshatriyas, it becomes an ideal. So, Lord Krishna quotes his example. Karmana eva samsiddhim asthitaha janakadayaha. The other kings also well known in the Upanishads who were enlightened. So if you have studied like Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, Chandogya Upanishad and other Upanishads, you find that there was an enlightened king. A king whose name was Ajatashatru, who was a wise person, king of Banaras, king of Kashi. And a Brahmana whose name was Gargya, who was very proud of his knowledge that I am a Brahmagnani, I am an or Brahman, he goes to the court of Ajatashatru and offers him, I will teach you Brahman. Ajatashatru, I am very happy that you come with this offer that you will give me the, impart teaching of Brahman. Here are 1,000 cows, just by your statement that you come here giving me, for offering this knowledge. And then Ajatashatru invites him, please teach me. And then Gargya teaches this, that, everything Ajatashatru already knew. Meaning that Gargya did not know, he only knew the Aparam Brahma. He knew Saguna Brahma. He did not know the Nirguna Brahman. He thought that he knew Brahman. Anyway, Ajatashatru there is presented as an enlightened king. Ashwapati. There are other kings also whose reference we find in the Upanishads, let alone Puranas. So Janaka Adeha, Janaka and others, such as Ashwapati, such as Ajatashatru, and others who are well known as enlightened kings. King means the Kshatriya. And Arjuna also is a Kshatriya. So if you quote example of Kshatriya, then only he will perhaps he pay attention to you. Otherwise, you won't care for somebody else. Says, I don't care for a Brahmana, they're not for me. So Janaka there. Here Arjuna, King Janaka and others who are well known as enlightened kings, Karmana eva samsiddhim asthitaha. Karmana eva, Karmana is the third case of the word. What's the substantive? Karman, exactly, not karma. Karma is already the singular first case of karman. So instrumental karmana. Instrumental case is generally an instrument meaning through karma. But instrumental case can also be used for some other purpose, Sakam, sardam, saha, together, with. So instrumental case also is used and so with karma. So karmana means through karma or with karma. You follow? So Shankaracharya gives both explanations. Karmana eva samsiddhim asthitaha janakadeha. Janaka and other kings like him, asthitaha, they strove to attain moksha through knowledge, through karma. Karmana meaning that they perform karma as a means of moksha. Meaning that Janaka and others who are well known as enlightened kings, they also sought to attain moksha or ultimate goal of life, karmana, through karma. Meaning that karma is a means of moksha. Karma is means of moksha. Na karmanam anarambhat naishkarmyam purushosnute. Only Lord Krishna said in the 4th verse of this chapter. that by abandoning the duty or karma in front of you, don't expect to attain state of actionlessness, naishkarmya. Nacha sannyasana nor by simply renouncing karma and becoming a sannyasi that you become actionless. Then what? By performing karma in the right way, that you become free from karma. So, state of moksha, state of actionlessness means freedom from karma. What is meant by freedom from karma? Is it freedom not to do karma? Is that the freedom? That freedom nobody has. I may have freedom not to do a given karma, but I don't have freedom not to do karma because something within me will pressurize me to do something else. Meaning that I may avoid doing a certain duty because it is not convenient to me, but I cannot remain inactive at all because my restlessness within will pressurize me to do some action or not. So when you have to perform karma, if you do not do right action, you will wind up performing wrong action anyway because your inner restlessness, your inner discomfort with yourself will force you to do something or the other. Then why don't you do the right thing? As long as that pressure is within you, and suppose it is by some kind of arrogance that no, I will take karma sannyasa. Suppose you do that also. That also Lord Krishna discussed. That out of arrogance or out of ignorance or out of delusion or out of stupidity, that you renounce the karma that I want to now meditate, I want to perform, I want to meditate upon the self. He says, you'll never do, you'll only meditate upon the world, you will never meditate upon the self. So therefore, karma has to be done. Your own raga dveshas will compel you to perform the karma. Then why don't you do karma in the right way? To get rid of raga dvesha. So, karma is the only means of getting rid of raga dvesha, no other means. Raga dveshas are required by karma, and you have to do something to get rid of raga dvesha. Prayers and things are okay. I will meditate, I will pray, I will do that. That is okay. It may work in some cases, most cases it will not work. Because your desire is to become free from raga dvesha. And raga dveshas can become active only when you start performing some karma. Until then they are lying dormant within. We don't even know that we have them. It is when I see a person, then things arise in me. Some raga dvesha arise. When I see a person, otherwise nothing is there. Everything is fine. Similarly, when I am about to do something, then my greed says, I want this. My anger says, I don't want this. Meaning that my raga dveshas find an opportunity to control me when I am about to do some karma. That is why karma, it triggers raga dvesha. When I have to do something, my raga dveshas are triggered. Then I come to know what they are. Then I have an opportunity to neutralize them. If raga arises, then I know how to neutralize that by dosha drushti. If dvesha arises, meaning that I will not permit my mind to be controlled by raga dveshas, I will control my mind by making it do what is right thing to do. Raga dveshas will compel or try to compel me to do what is convenient, but I will assert that I will do what is right. And that way, not allow raga dveshas to control me. That's the only way to get rid of raga dvesha, not by sitting and meditating. They won't allow you to meditate anyway. Do meditate when you are in right spirit. But then, once the mind becomes active and restlessness comes, then you have to put that into practice. You have to express it as action. So understand that doing something in life alone will make a change, and not simply by talking and thinking, etc. That's what Lord Krishna seems to believe. Our Swami would say, physicalize your attitude. You have the attitude to be happy. You can be happy provided you are sattvic. When you are free from ragadveshas, then physicalize the attitude of overcoming ragadvesha by deliberately doing something which is not prompted by ragadvesha. And thus, karma or action becomes an opportunity to recognize what a ragadvesha is and how to subdue the ragadvesha. That is where we do use our free will in subduing the ragadvesha. Karmana eva. And therefore, the thinking people know this. So King Janaka and others, when they were also aspirants or seekers, even they also saw the need of karma as a means of self-purification. Karmana eva. It is through karma alone, by karma is meant what is the right karma. And doing what is right requires me to subdue my tendency to do what is convenient. Otherwise I cannot do what is right. And when I am about to do something, my tendency of what is convenient will try to assert itself. And I assert that I will do what is right. That is called karma, not karma. Karma is what goes on in the mind. When we have to perform the right action, something goes on in my mind. That my natural tendency to do something that is convenient. Take a shortcut. Avoid pain. Avoid pain and trouble is a natural tendency. While doing what is right may involve some pain. Likely. Emotional pain. Swami is tough. Difficult to work with this person. Difficult to do this. Situations are not easy. Life is not easy. And therefore, even doing what is right in a given situation may involve pain in the sense of I may have to put up with people's fancies, people's whatever their nature is. If a doctor has to serve a patient or a nurse has to serve a patient, she has to submit to the patient because patient is what the patient is, isn't it? A nurse, in order to take proper care, must accept the patient as a patient is and then offer the care. Not this way, okay, that way. This. I believe, I don't know. Beyond a certain point you may restrain, but otherwise you have to go along with what the patient wants. In duty, we have to go along with who is the recipient of our duty. So giving up automatically, you cannot perform right action without giving up the tendency of doing something that is convenient. Cannot. Meaning that living in the right way is never easy. Not only because of our ragadvesha, basically. And what is pain? Pain is that I am required to subdue my ragadveshas, otherwise I cannot do what is right. So karmana eva, by karma alone. What is the importance of karma? That karma triggers the ragadvesha in me. Karma means interacting with the world. They will push some buttons. The world will push whoever. So our Swami would say, what I am confronting is the world. So I am confronting, this is the world for me and I am the world for you. Hopefully I am not pushing any buttons, but usually it is one set of ragadvesha interact with other set of ragadvesha. What do you expect? I am a bunch of ragadvesha, then I interact with somebody with another bunch of ragadvesha. In all likelihood, each one will push the other person's button. Meaning that when I have to interact with the world, which I have to when I perform my duty, then the ragadveshas will be triggered. They will push the buttons. Then I will know what kind of ragadveshas I have. And if I value, I want to subdue the ragadveshas, not submit myself to them. And in spite of that provocation, I should do what is right. It's not easy. They will always provoke you. If you don't get provoked, they will do some more pinching. Don't provoke you, more pinching. Swami, this person will make me angry. They will keep on pinching until you get angry. That's how the world is. Therefore, to be able to maintain a certain poise of the mind in a provoking situation also, the yoga is not easy. I'm not saying it is easy, but that's the only way. There is no other way. The only way is to subdue the ragadveshas, and that is only when ragadveshas surface themselves, and that is when the buttons are pushed, and that is when I'm interacting with the world. It's called karma. Karmana eva hi samsiddhim asthitaha janakadaya. Janaka and other aspirants of that kind who wanted moksha, those who were embarked upon, or they strove to attain moksha, they recognize that karma is a means of self-purification without which there is no moksha. So look, Arjuna, Janaka and others also were in a situation like you once upon a time. They were also aspirants. And they undertook this karma, that is well known. By the way, this king, it is well known that they always perform their duties. If you think that Janaka and others were already enlightened, then also you find them performing karma. Meaning that even when the king Janaka did not renounce, he took the reins of his empire and then he did what was right, what was to be done. So it is not that moksha is opposed to karma. So karma is a means of moksha and karma can go with the moksha also. So there, the second meaning of the word karmana sa. Along with karma, the Janaka and others lived the life. So suppose they were enlightened. Even after enlightenment also, they did not give up their duty. It's well known. So here Shankaracharya says, hey Arjuna, if you think that Janaka was an aspirant, then understand that karmana, through karma as a means, he strove to attain moksha or knowledge. And if you think that King Janaka was already enlightened, then karmana sa. Along with karma also, enlightenment, along with karma he continued to live his life. Meaning that if you look upon Janaka as an aspirant, then also he did not give up karma. If you look upon Janaka as an enlightened person, then also he did not give up the karma. So Janaka is a well-known example, that is why it is quoted here. As an enlightened king. Therefore, you should also do. So Arjuna may ask a question. Just because Janaka and other people did, maybe they were ignorant people, and therefore they did it. I'm not ignorant. I'm an enlightened person. Why should I do? Suppose Arjuna has this kind of a delusion about himself, in case. Then Lord Krishna says the second line. Loka sangrahamevapi sampashyan kartumarhasi. Here Arjuna, if you are enlightened, you are already liberated, meaning that there is no duty left for you, there is no pressure of doing anything left, on you. Meaning that now your choice not to do also. The real free will comes then. When an enlightened person is free from free will, then that is why he makes the right choices. But then, suppose you are enlightened. Therefore, you have freedom to give up your duty. Then also you should not. As a Kshatriya, you should not. What should you do? Loka sangraham. So here Bhashyakara explains lokasya unmaga pravritti nivaranam loka sangraha. Preventing mankind from going astray. If a human being is allowed to do what he or she likes to do, then most likely they will swerve from the path of dharma. Because of the inner raga dveshas, most likely people will swerve from dharma. So what's the duty of a king? To bring them back on the path of dharma. Lokasya unmarga pravrutti nivaranam. Preventing mankind from going astray, from going out of track. Dharma is a track. But you give them freedom, it's likely that they may go out of track. So therefore it becomes a duty of a king to bring them back on the track. That's your duty. So Loka Sangraha is explained this way, of preventing mankind from going astray. Other meanings also are given. For welfare of the people, the welfare of the world, that's also on the meaning. That now that your welfare is done, moksha means a person's welfare is done. His krutakrutya has done whatever needs to be done, nothing remains to be done, so he does not need any welfare for himself. Now what should he do? For welfare of others. Here Arjuna, if you think that you are enlightened, therefore you do not need to perform duty for your sake, continue to perform action for the welfare of others. Because there is plenty of need others have. You provide, fulfill that need. Or Loka Sangraha also is propitiation of the mankind. Please the mankind, help them, make them happy. So anyway, Arjuna, there is no case for you to give up action. That's what Lord Krishna is a tight case here. He is presenting various arguments that no argument remains with Arjuna for giving up the karma. This is started from the 4th verse onwards, by the way. Because he is captive audience. Arjuna is captive audience. He wanted to leave the battlefield, so he doesn't have to face the situation. But Lord Krishna did not cooperate at all. And one good thing about Arjuna is that he is an obedient person. He is an obedient disciple. So he chose to become disciple of Lord Krishna, an obedient disciple. Therefore, he will now do what Lord Krishna thinks right for him. But Lord Krishna does not instruct him to do something. Lord Krishna only gives all the arguments to convince. So Arjuna should be convinced as to what is to be done or not done. So Lord Krishna is providing arguments one after the other. A watertight case as to how it is only right for Arjuna to perform action. That is in front of him. What is the action? That's the duty. What's the duty? Fight this battle. Really speaking, fighting battle is not the description of what Arjuna is required to do. Protect dharma is what Arjuna's duty is. Protecting dharma under this situation requires him to fight a battle, understand? Fighting is not his duty. Protecting dharma is a duty. How to protect dharma? By actively resisting against the forces of adharma. By not just being a witness or prayer and stuff like that, no. By actively resisting the force of adharma that you assert the dharma. A kshatriya, a brahmana will pray. He won't go to battlefield. He sees things happening there. He doesn't, all kinds of injustice. Brahmana will curse him, bless him, something like that. But he won't, get involved. A Vaishya will not get involved. Shudra will, a kshatriya, his blood is boiling. He cannot stand injustice. There are people like that. I cannot stand injustice. Why do you worry? No, I can't stand. There is kshatriya blood. Many people are like, many women are more than even men these days, activists. Cannot stand injustice. So Kshatriya is like that, cannot stand injustice. Except that he wants to bring justice through the right means. So Duryodhana and all those people stand for injustice, adharma. It's not that he's fighting against Duryodhana. Ideally, he has come to battlefield to fight against the forces of adharma. That is why he has to fight even against Bhishma and Drona, who were not adharmic people, they were very highly dharmic people. But they joined the forces of adharma. You follow? He is not fighting with Bhishma and Drona. He is fighting against the forces of adharma. Because leader is Duryodhana and he is embodiment of adharma. And therefore, all those who join Duryodhana also are only part of forces of adharma. Because if they win, then Duryodhana will win, then adharma will win. So, in ideal terms, Arjuna has not come to fight against these people. He just came here to perform the duty of protecting dharma, which in this case required not just following dharma, but actively resisting the forces of adharma, which required a battle, fight. But fighting is not what Lord Krishna wants him to do. Lord Krishna wants him to protect dharma. And fighting against the forces of adharma, not against Kaurava. Arjuna's mind got deluded. He came with the right mindset when he came to battlefield to fight with adharma, but then his mind changed and this adharma changed to my swajana, my people, etc. So that's all this confusion happened. Because ragadveshas came. When Arjuna picked up his bow and about to fight, his ragadveshas came. What is raga? These are my people. Attachment, swajanam, so my relatives, my kith and kin, how can I fight against them? Raga came. So when attachment came with the people, dvesha also comes. For the battle, I will not fight this battle. So this decision on the part of Arjuna of not fighting battle comes from raga dvesha, not from viveka. Lord Krishna has no agenda for Arjuna that he should fight or not fight, no agenda. Some people believe that Lord Krishna is imparting the teaching of Arjuna with an agenda to make him fight. No. This teaching is imparted to Arjuna for the well-being of Arjuna, with no agenda on the part of Lord Krishna. There cannot be a teacher who has an agenda. He is not a teacher, he is a manipulator. If Lord Krishna, by all these teachings, and ultimately wants to change Arjuna so that he agrees to fight the battle, which is what Lord Krishna wanted, he is not. He is a manipulator. He is a politician. Really, we cannot expect that from Lord Krishna. And so this is done only for the welfare of Arjuna, purely, with no agenda whatever on the part of Lord Krishna. So this, if you think that you are an aspirant, then also follow the example of Janaka and others who embarked upon Karma Yoga as a means of moksha. And if you think that you are an enlightened person, then also follow the example, because they continue to perform karma even after enlightenment. So Loka Sangraham. If you think that you do not need to do anything for yourself, that doesn't mean that you can renounce action, because you are not the only one. There are many who depend upon you. And therefore, if you walk out of this battle, who will do what is to be done for the society? Who will do that? Who will resist the force of adharma? Then who will prevent the spread of adharma? Who will do that? Adharma will spread in the society, that will destroy the society. So if you are a mumukshu, perform this action as in the spirit of yoga, If you are mukta, liberated, then perform the action as a means of the welfare of the society. But in those circumstances, can you give up your duty? That's what Lord Krishna is saying here. Okay, we'll continue. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Krutau Vande Bhagavanto Punah Punah. Ishvaro Gururatmeri Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.